Mark, we've neglected some really big news. The Chiefs were able to sign after 2 years of courting this player, JuJu Smith-Schuster, to a 1-year contract worth, and it happened last week. We didn't do a
Oh,
bonus RTK. We didn't do any of it. Mark,
I
did
thought
you
it just
hear about
happened.
that? Oh,
I
no,
thought
no,
it
no.
just happened. Oh my goodness. I thought they just signed him.
Yeah, technically with their salary cap situation, I don't know if it's ever going to officially happen. But 1 year, $3.5 million contract. I forget what the base is, but it's up to $10 million with incentives. The thing that Joshua Briscoe, the Podfather, has a good article up on arrowheadreport.com. Surprisingly not Connor Christopherson talking about contracts. It is Briscoe about not likely to be earned and likely to be earned incentives. And the easiest way to explain it for people who are wondering, the reason the Chiefs are doing, presumably, there's a lot of assumption and guessing with this. JuJu Smith-Schuster in 2021, because of the injury, was limited to 15 catches for 129 yards and no touchdowns. By that rule, the Chiefs could make incentives for 16 catches, 130 yards, and 1 touchdown. And by NFL rule, they would be considered not likely to be earned based on the prior year's production, which is obviously bogus because he could get that in 2 weeks if he really, played well. But because of that, those incentives, if he hits them and they're not likely to be earned, they can be applied to the 2023 salary cap, which honestly is a genius move. If that's what the Chiefs are presumably doing, still kind of iffy on the exact specifics of what the incentives are, how many they're using, what they would be, what they were agreed upon, all that good stuff. But contract wise, makes a ton of sense. 10.75 million max is a little bit more than I thought he was going to get. But also it's a 1-year deal. So I also understand that. I thought he'd be like in the $8 to $10 million range. So I mean, I guess it's not technically too much. It's a decent value deal, a good value deal even for a good player. And Mark, what do you think JuJu brings to the Chiefs offense? I know obviously, the not having a wide receiver 2, the Sammy Watkins replacement. What are your thoughts on not the contract, but the player himself?
Yeah, I think he's a tough player. He's going to make those catches over the middle. He's going to make blocks downfield, kind of like Sammy was a big blocker down the field guy. You saw those clips of him blocking guys all the way to the bench out of bounds. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get more flags for that, but JuJu's that kind of receiver. He's going to be blocking downfield for whoever needs it. He's going to be making those tough catches over the middle. He's going to line up as a slot. He's going to line up as an outside receiver. He's going to line up wherever you need him to. And the Chiefs are going to utilize that. Andy Reid's going to utilize that, and they're going to be better off for it. And the thing about JuJu is when people were talking about, oh, I don't want him to come to the Chiefs, not a ton of people were saying that, but some people wanted, Allen Robinson or DJ Chark or whoever else it was. But they just look at last year and they're like, oh, he's injury prone. They look at the year before and they're like, oh, he can't be a number 1. Well, with the Chiefs, you're not asking him to be the number 1 unless something really bad happens. So you've got Tyreek Hill, you've got Travis Kelce, and then you've got JuJu Smith-Schuster as your third option. And even when he was in Pittsburgh as the number 2 option behind Antonio Brown, his first couple years, he had really close to 1,000 yards. His first year, his rookie year, he had, I think, 6 or 7 touchdowns his rookie year. His second year, he was over 1,400 yards and I think 10 or 12 touchdowns in his second year in the league. So whenever he's in that secondary role, he really shines. And with Patrick Mahomes, I'm just laughing over here. When Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the ball, I think that the Chiefs could have 3 legitimate 1,000-yard receivers this year. So that is something to be excited about for Chiefs fans.
Yeah, I think he's projected just under 1,000 on I think it was close to 90 catches or somewhere near it. That might have been targets on the projection, but either way, he's going to get his. I think it's not going to be Sammy Watkins never had 700 yards as a member of the Chiefs. McCole Hardman never had 700 yards as a member of the Chiefs. Byron Pringle obviously never had 700 yards there isn't a huge bar to clear. And I don't even look at it that way in terms of how many yards, how many touchdowns is he going to get? How can he take pressure off of Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce? And I think he does that. He can win one-on-one. He can play in the slot. He can play on the outside. He's a good blocker. He's going to help Hardman in those tight situations where he needs a blocker to throw his weight around and put forth some effort. Pringle tried. Robinson tried. Josh Gordon was good at it. That's one thing Josh Gordon did do. He was a good blocker. And I know that you don't keep him around for that necessarily. The Chiefs are keeping it around for something. But I think bringing JuJu in, it just made sense. They needed him. He wanted to come there last year, ended up going back to Pittsburgh. The need was there. The fit is there. He wants to win. They want to win. He does a lot of the stuff they need and desire in a wide receiver. So I think it's not a slam dunk, but it's really, 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 really close. It's one of those dunks where your hand was like a few inches off the rim and you threw it in. One of those Blake Griffin type dunks, which are still a ton of fun to watch. And I think, it's not an Allen Robinson acquisition or anything, but I think JuJu as a wideout 2 and an option 3 is going to be really fun to watch on the Chiefs.
Yeah, and nobody's really changing their roles here. You got Tyreek Hill still going to be his same role. Kelce's still going to be his role. Hardman's still going to have his role. You're not going to be asking him to do more than he's done before, so he can just go out there and play his game. JuJu's going to have his role now, which is going to be what they wanted Sammy to be when he couldn't stay healthy. And then I think Josh Gordon's going to be that Demarcus Robinson role this year, where he gets in there and maybe has, 1, 2, 3 targets a game at most. And he'll probably get like 2 touchdowns this year because he'll have the full offseason and, more chemistry with Patrick Mahomes this time around.